Matt Walsh has had among the most unhinged reactions to Charlie Kirk's death. It seems like the right has just total amnesia, total blindness towards the fact that political violence is exclusively an invention of Make America Great Again. It's not even look at even the scientific studies that have studied this. The right-wing people are more violent than the left-wing people. It's not even a discussion. And I can come up with so many examples. But let's look at this clip of Matt Walsh.
And I am full of rage. If you want a kumbaya message of unity and togetherness, you will not get it from me. Over the past 24 hours, I've seen some in the media, some of the very same people who intentionally stoked murderous hatred against people like Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk specifically, now saying that we need to turn down the temperature and start having conversations. Well, Charlie tried to have conversations with you on the left, and you killed him for it. You're killing us in our churches. You tried to kill our president. You killed one of our greatest advocates in Charlie Kirk. You have been openly cheering for and celebrating and encouraging and committing political violence for years. Antifa, BLM, well-funded, highly orchestrated, widespread movements based in and fueled by violence. You made a hero out of Luigi Mangione. And you celebrate Charlie's death even now. It's too late to turn the temperature down. This is not a time to hold hands. It's a time for justice. It is a time for good to fight back against evil. It is time for the righteous to prevail.
Okay, so there's so much wrong with that clip. First of all, just blaming the left for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump and blaming the left for the murder of Charlie Kirk is stupid. It's irrelevant. Every person on the left will agree that the murder of Charlie Kirk is highly problematic because we live in a society of laws. Basically, my moral convictions, my silly little value judgments of me saying Charlie Kirk's political opinions are horrible for society. I'm not allowed to go and use that value judgment to bring justice to Charlie Kirk. That is why people should oppose this, of course. But saying that it's time to fight, we are the good guys. You voted for the guy who, according to Mark Meadows, wanted his vice president to be murdered by the people that Charlie Kirk bust in to the Capitol on January 6th. You made fun of Paul Pelosi's attempted murder. He's like trying to justify it as if it's some joke, like the whole gay lover conspiracy. It's absurd. And the Minnesota lawmaker, Fox News mentioned it twice. They might mention that twice. The school shooting was almost never mentioned. Charlie Kirk was mentioned almost like 50 times at this point. You go to Fox News' page, it's just all Charlie Kirk. You clearly have a bias for whose lives matter more and whose lives matter less. So when you say we should fight, turn the temperature up, you caused this. You have such horrible politics that you have even drawn the left to violence. That is my takeaway. You have horrible politics. There's only one party. And saying that BLM was an organized kind of thing from the left is crazy. That was also decentralized. The only organized political violence was January 6th. Literally organized. Once Trump ordered it off, it was done. They were like, our leader has told us to go home. So this is the guy you rally behind. This is the guy that Charlie Kirk supports. By the way, Trump's administration is incredibly violent in its policies. Like, so many people will die because of this administration. I'm not exaggerating. The Lancet study looked at the USAID, the most irresponsible thing I've ever seen in my life done in government. The complete withdrawal of funds and stop work order on the most impressive medical achievements of the 21st century. PEPFAR, the President's Malaria Initiative, cholera initiatives. It was all canceled. And then they had a makeshift humanitarian waiver the next week that did nothing. And once a USAID top official came out and said this waiver is doing nothing, people were going to die, he was fired. He was laid off. Same thing happened in February. Any dissent is crushed. Look at the FBI firings. anyone involved in anything against Trump is gone. It's extremely violent. I won't even touch on the immigration law thing, because there's there's kernels of lawfulness in what Trump is doing with immigration enforcement. I disagree with it heavily, though. But it's just the disregard for human life, and the cuts to Medicaid, cuts to SNAP. And by the way, if Caroline Leavitt's still out there saying Medicaid wasn't cut, then why did the Republicans include a $50 billion slush fund for rural hospitals who are going to lose revenue because people are no longer insured by Medicaid? So now they're going to get the revenue from that slush fund, but instead of giving these people the care that they would get under Medicaid, they're going to give them the bare minimum stabilization treatment that is required by law, that all hospitals must give. So and this omnibus bill was incredibly unpopular. You can't be this unpopular. You can't have such horrible policies and not expect political violence. This is an outcome. It's like saying pouring oil on a fire and the fire gets bigger, and asking someone if they condemn the fire getting bigger. It's like, no, that's just what happens. It's what happens in any authoritarian regime, where we seem to be very kind to political violence in other scenarios when you put it in context, like in the Soviet Union. Like Biden had that one speech that Ben Shapiro was whining about incessantly, where he had the red background, and he was like, MAGA Republicans are a threat to democracy, and he was like, this is the most divisive thing I've ever heard, while Trump was literally fighting charges of defrauding the DOJ and National Archives with his Mar-a-Lago employees. Like, there's no comparison here. It's not even close. And you can look at the empirical data too. It is very, very revealing. Even when left-wing people do political violence, there's less damage done. Because the left philosophy is that even if you have horrible ideas and you have horrible proclivities, you should still have rights. You should still be able to live a good life. You should still be able to study, right? How many visas have been revoked from people peacefully advocating against Israel, writing essays, not even doing anything active, and deporting them, right? Not even. I mean, it's just so silly. The biggest glaring thing that is wrong with this assessment is the fact that there is a good guy and a bad guy. And that the good guy is the MAGA Republicans, who literally as an institution have completely been okay with political violence. They have minimized it. That was what January 6th was all about. All those people who beat up cops resulted in the deaths of rioters. As I already mentioned, Charlie Kirk busted a lot of those people in. It was incredibly violent. Donald Trump had them under their thumb. They would have left at any moment. Donald Trump intentionally allowed them to parade within 50 feet of Mike Pence, chanting for his death, and go on Twitter and tweet, Mike Pence deserves it. He didn't do what needed to be done.